Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Life Like Therapy podcast. Today I'm joined by David, and again, you get to hear from somebody else talking instead of just me telling my own other people's story. So, David, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
And tell me about why you all first started using Lifeline.
Got to know you, and right about the time we were getting to know each other, I was going in for my second ACL repair surgery. I had on my left knee about 4 years prior to our interaction and my introduction to Lifelight, I had torn my ACL, gone through the ACL repair surgery, gone through all the PT and everything. And honestly, about at that 4 year mark was when I was starting to feel normal again, feel like I didn't have all the knee pain and knee issues. And then tore it a second time. And that's when you brought the Lifelight to my attention and said, "Hey, this is something that I think can help you in your recovery." Do you want me to go into what that difference is now? Are you ready for that? Again, comparing ACL surgery number 2 to ACL surgery number 1, it took me a lot of time from ACL surgery number 1 to get to a place of feeling normal, even to get to a place of feeling functional. In a lot of ways, it was weeks before I was starting to get back movement. It was months before there was some semblance of, oh, I can sort of walk without pain. I can sort of do this without pain. And in terms of the medical field, all of that was considered normal. I was still within a normal range of this is what recovery looks like, what it takes, what it does. The second surgery with Lifelight, from basically day one, I had Lifelight. It was night and day different. I should add, same knee, same doctor that did the surgery. Obviously there was some differences and I knew what to expect first surgery to second surgery, but for the most part, the scenario was identical from surgery 1 to surgery 2. And with the Lifelight, using it consistently, I was way ahead of the curve compared to me first surgery, but then also compared to medically. When I would go to PT, I was always ahead of the curve versus right in the curve, right where I want you to be. So yeah, it was because of the ACL surgery and because of the differences that I was introduced to Lifelight and then became a believer of Lifelight and in the difference it can make and in the impact. And so, we would start using it for everything because we saw, okay, this makes such a difference here. Let's try it to whatever else. My wife was using it for acne. When I was getting older and hair was starting to thin, it's like, all right, we're putting it on the balding setting. We're like, every setting that we could, we were using it. And even to the place of my mom rolled her ankle. It's like, all right, here's our Lifelight for a couple weeks to go use that and get recovered faster. And ultimately, that's the difference that I saw with my knee is the amount of time it took me to recover and the amount of pain that I felt was dramatically different. It sped up the recovery process. Oh man, probably threefold at least, as how quickly things were turning around and getting back to normal. And again, the reduction of pain. And then let's say after a year of surgery, then it's just this spot. Okay, I went and I did a hard mountain bike ride or something like that. It's sore again. slap on the life light, and just use it as a spot check, if you will, for that same issue.
That your experience of like once you hook the one in your house and you see all the particles, and I hear that from everybody. You get it for one thing and you start using it. Oh, like, oh, it can help with bruising. Oh, it has that UV setting. Oh, an acne setting. Oh, yeah. Had you ever had any other experience with red light therapy before? Or
I had not. No. Yeah, it was my first introduction to it, and I would say there was some hesitancy at first of like, what difference is this going to make? But I would also say, I guess the place I was at when you introduced me to it was, I mean, I was discouraged because, okay, I'm finally feeling normal, and then I tear it again. It's like, oh, this process, like, this is the worst. So you introduced me to Life Flight, and it's like, I have nothing to lose here. Even if it just helps with the scarring on my knee, on the skin, okay, that's probably worth it. So to kind of go in it with nothing to lose, but also in some ways everything to prove, it did just that. It was like, okay, for me to have an apples to apples comparison and have a totally different experience shows that it works. Like that there is reality to it, that it's not just hocus pocus and flashy lights.
Yeah, my wife, my left, called it the whirly light machine. I like it. Weird. Like, what is those thing? And then you see it doing all this stuff and actually helping.
Yeah.
It's certainly understand being skeptical. The first was like, you're just shining lights on something.
Yeah. Well, and it's, again, it kind of going into it from a like, okay, if this is just like a topical covers the skin piece, it's like, okay, great. But again, with the ACL, at least a lot of my pain was very much internal. It is the joint. It is inside, the swelling that's going on inside. It's not on the surface. And for it to be able to address those issues, address the pain, address those pieces, there's not, in my mind and in my experience, there's not really a way to explain that away as, oh, I just healed differently, or it was the same surgery technique, it was the same technician, it was the same process, it was like everything was the same. And if anything, the second should have been worse because of all the existing issues from the time one. Okay, now we've got to drill a second hole to test this. Now we've got to put, like, it should have been a worse experience. My muscle wasn't even fully rebuilt from the first surgery, to be honest. So all of those things point to the second should have been worse than the first, and it wasn't. And the only difference I had in that time was Life Light.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And you talk about, why not try it? And it is one of the cool things with light therapy is there's no negative side effects. So it's not like a pharmaceutical where you're like, well, is it worth this 3 paragraphs and possible horrible side effects?
Yeah.
It's just, if it doesn't work,
yeah,
you just wasted 15 minutes and shining a light on me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do need to talk about the addictive properties because, again, it's like, all right, if it works here, I'm using it everywhere.
Yeah, I use it just about every day. I mean, preventatively and avoid injury. I tore one Achilles years ago and do not want to tear the other one. So I light that thing up every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, you have nothing to lose. There's no side effect from it. I guess the only thing you could say you lose is time. Yeah, maybe. But even in that, what I found I mean, especially with the ACL, because I was on my butt the whole time for the first part of recovery. But with anything else, it's rare that there's not 15 minutes a day that I'm sitting down to watch TV or I'm sitting down to do something where I'm not moving around. The time is there, and just slapping Lifeline on, you don't even notice it. It's just running, and suddenly you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, any other thoughts or anything you want to throw away about lifelike therapy?
Um, hmm. I mean, again, I would say I'm a believer. There are no doubts in my mind with the effectiveness of Lifeline. And when we looked at other alternatives online or other, I didn't have the confidence that they could perform and do the same things that Lifeline could. Like even looking at the ones that are on Amazon or on other places, it does seem that they have more of a topical application, and don't do as much as Lifeline could, and you can probably speak to that as to why.
I said this earlier, but sometimes I think we need to rebrand lifeline into frequency therapy delivered through light, because what we come up with is all these other devices that are out there in the market, from the device that Live is on to $20,000 clinical devices. I think they all just have the lights that are either on or off. So it's just the red light, which red light, your cells have photoreceptors, so the red light and the near infrared, those wavelengths of light are beneficial, and so that's why those have a market. They do something, right? That just the red light itself is beneficial. But what Lifeline does is not. You cannot turn on a Lifeline device for just having the lights on or off. For every single protocol, the lights are flashing at a frequency, usually cycling to multiple frequencies in the course for cortical. And so those light flash frequencies are specific to whatever it's trying to treat. So that's why there's a hair loss protocol and a memory protocol and an energy boost protocol and a relaxation protocol, and they're all using the same wavelengths of light, but the difference is the frequency, and the frequency makes a huge difference of whether it's going to give you more energy or help you relax, whether it's going to help your memory concussion or torn muscle or perhaps. And so, light itself does something, and that's why all these devices are out there in the market. But Lifeline is a completely different beast than anything else that exists.
Yeah, yeah, and even attesting to that, I know when I was using it after the second surgery, there was 3 or 4 different protocols that I was using it for that I would just cycle through, and I know like soreness was one, and I think joint and bone, or that was the second one, and just a few of those, and even I think scarring was another one. But I was trying to take care of those, and as you may not be able, or I may not be able to scientifically point to say, here are the things that it was doing differently. I will say the feeling that I had was different, as far as how my knee reacted or how things felt afterwards, which, at least to me, again, personal experience versus a scientific thing, but it points that the light is doing a different function at a different time based on the protocol that you select. So not scientific, but again, real world experience. I'm a believer.
Yeah. All right. So anybody who's sitting there all watching this and is trying to figure out if they want to give Lifeline a try, what would you say to them?
I guess bottom line, again, we had our life light. I have my experience between my wife and my kids, or my mom, or people that were in our circle. If they had something that happened, we'd give it to them and they would have the same experience. They would have, calling it life changing is maybe somewhat extreme, but if you are constantly in pain, from arthritis, from some kind of thing that is partially debilitating, even if you can fully functional, but you have to deal with pain through whatever it is, to have something that relieves that in a way that's not ibuprofen, where it's artificially numbing it, or there's side effects or all the other things. If you have something that changes that experience for life, it's hard to argue that that's not life changing. To be able to, man, I love to play basketball with my kids, but I can't now because of blah. Well, to have an option to be able to do something you love, how is it not worth it? How is it not worth it? So yeah, for someone that's on the fence, I guess I would say it is worth it if you can change your experience with life. It's very much worth it. But also don't be held back by the reviews or the experiences of people who did buy a cheap Amazon one or something else. Like if I bought an Amazon cheap one and expected it to heal my knee swelling and it didn't, then be like, all right, all red light therapy is out. None of it works. I don't think that's a fair belief. So I guess bottom line, I would say listen to the reviews of LifeLight and listen to the experiences that people have had here, because that is different. And then I guess, I don't know the right way to say that, but having the change is worth it. Having the relief of pain is probably the one I would say with confidence it will affect most people, is the relief of pain and movement. And there's not really an alternative out there that doesn't have its side effects or drawbacks. So, just having that, there's so much life experience that you get back when you're pain-free or closer to less pain, whatever you want to describe it. It may not fix every last thing, but, yeah, I'll just say for me, there's a lot of joint pain, a lot past injuries, past whatever, wear and tear, that if I don't have the same level of pain, it's like, man, I can still experience life in the way that I want to, and desire to. So I would just encourage people that get past that mental barrier of entry, because your life will be different as a result of it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, David, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. And for anybody who's watching, listening, if you have questions about LifeLight, how it works, or if it can treat different things, or how to treat different things, or whatever it is, reach out to us at lifelightTherapy.com. And David, thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.